Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to all of you on the internets. Hello, internets. We are so glad you're here. We have a big crowd today. If you look over here. No, over here. There you are.
Nice try.
These are all my Canadian friends. And then down here, my Georgia friends. And then New York and Florida friends, which that's basically the same thing. So anyway, good to have you here and glad you're joining us out there. Got Brom in the chat. Richard is in the chat. Richard dropped out. His internet disconnected. And Gil jumped back in and got your spot, dude. So Richard, sorry. Let's see. Oh, his phone froze. Yeah, you lost your spot. Mayor Mildbrook, good to see you. We met you this weekend.
Hey, man.
At the Atlanta Brick Company. That's good. Seth, good to have you here in the chat.
Seth.
Welcome. Sure did. All right. So glad to have you here. We have a new friend with us. We've been calling you David Cooties for a long time, but now we learn it's David Cowdice. In the South, Cooties always happens before Cowdice. But anyway,
That's okay.
we'll just call you Dave K. That's all right.
What's wrong with this?
But the Canadians, it's the Canadians versus the Southerners right now, so that's okay. We got you surrounded. But anyway, we'll be talking to him in a little bit. We'll go around the room here. How you guys doing this evening? Y'all doing all right?
Yay!
All right. How many of you experienced a tropical storm today? Yay! Tropical storm.
It didn't rain.
Snowstorm.
That's right. And our friend Meredith, she can't be here tonight because they're still without power, and so we're hoping they get power soon. I found out today that I've got friends that live just across the Jim Owens Highway, which is the road, not a highway, it's just a road right outside our subdivision, and south of that road or north of that road, they're all without power, still without power. We've had it all day, so that's nice. Hoping everybody gets their power back here in the South. It was an interesting morning this morning, from about 3 or 4 in the morning till about 8 o'clock when it was all kind of subsided. So that's what's been going on here. I don't know. Do you Canadians have snow yet? I don't know. I haven't watched. No. Oh! I got a nod from Proud Love. No.
No, it hasn't stayed on the ground yet, but it snowed a little bit yesterday morning.
All right, man. If that happened here, there would be a Trans Am in the ditch, and we'd all be going to get bread. So that's just the way it's going to happen. All right. So let's go around the room. We'll start with Mr. Brick Smith. Mr. Brick Smith, what is up in your world today, man?
Yeah. So you want me to brag on this?
Sure.
Okay. So I got that. I got the prototype, Star Wars prototype with Fig, and I got another Star Wars thing and 2 more Technic sets off of Marketplace for $25.
Are you going to show? Are you going to show these things? You can't show them?
No, they're already packed up and sold. I can tell you this guy. This is his name is the
Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah. Yep.
That guy.
He's an expensive little fig that I didn't know it was. The entire lot could have this guy could have paid for that.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't. I should have got some extra Rebels sets when they were out because I loved it. I love the sets. I wish I got them when they were cheap because now they're worth serious bank. So that's awesome.
So with that being said, I dumped the Star Wars off of somebody else. Somebody else is going to get this Technic. I'm going to let somebody else clean up and build the other stuff to make sure it's all there, and then I'm going to sell it to somebody else.
I gotcha. All right.
I had fun.
We're just going to call you Flipper. Change his name to Flipper for today.
I could do that. All right, Ryan, what's going on, man?
Hello.
How are you?
What's going on? I've missed the last week or two because I've been so busy at work and I get home so late that I just collapse exhausted after dinner with my family. So it's
we know you love us.
Good to be here this week.
All right, how can you tell us how things are at the park?
Please.
The NTA thing kills me every week. We had some news crews come in this week, so you'll start to see some footage get onto the internet from some of the Miniland action we've had going on. We've had our crane in this week, so we've been able to start putting in our tall towers. So that'll be going on over the next few weeks. So you should see some social media footage and shots of that stuff. And then next week, I am doing a Zoom class with a elementary school in New York City. As a special promotion, this class got chosen to have a Zoom building class with me.
Hooah.
Sorry. Oh, wait. You know what? It's kind of funny. We were talking about hair, and Ryan, you're more in our things, but here is you, and here is you on a desert island. There we go.
I don't understand.
The one thing I did want to mention is a few weeks ago I had shown off this giant tub of stuff that I got from my mother-in-law. That was my wife and her siblings when they were growing up, and that night I had been trying to build one of the sets from it. I finished that and never showed it off, but I was impressed that everything to build this set was in that box.
Nice. Robot
which I was genuinely shocked to see because that tub has been floating around since the 70s or 80s.
Wow.
But yeah, so now I have one of these. I've never had one before, and it's a weird set. I know you talked about it a little while ago, Dana, but for me, it's not ticking my boxes.
You know what? People either love or hate that set. There is no in between.
It's pretty wacky.
Pull one out like 3 seconds after you shut. Classic Space at the ready.
I think you got to be 8 years old to really appreciate the set. Like, you know,
I mean, I really love that it's got like a jillion play features, but there's something off-putting about the design to me that it's just not for me.
There's a jillion play features, and none of them are shooters.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, just imagine it as Classic Space goes Beast Wars, and it'll be all about you, man.
It was a parts pack.
That's a really hollow insult, and I'm not hurt by that.
Actually, I remember buying that. Gosh, I had to be 15 or so, 16 maybe. I guess I don't remember, but when you bought it, it was cool, but it was just a parts pack because it had inverted computers, it had the windows, it had everything. Yeah, so that was a parts pack. So
yeah, and I don't want to use the parts necessarily because I know other people would appreciate it as a set. So I just need to figure out what to do with it now.
Nah, rebuilding it is something awesome, man. We understand.
Yeah, parts is parts.
I never bought it. I could have bought it at the same time Chris did. I never bothered. I honestly didn't have this set together until about 3 years ago. And
yeah.
So it's like,
it is a weird one. It's not one that I'm going to put on my shelf and go, ooh. It is like, I could rebuild something cool out of that. So that's what I want to do.
Hey,
all
dude,
right, do what?
Hey, Titanium Jet. I'm talking to my friends.
Oh, yeah. TJ's here. Dude Jude's here. I saw Colin. Colin Harvey's here. What's up, Colin?
Colin.
TJ's here. Typical Gunner is here. Also looking, considering Brian quite Lord-like today. Anyway, so let's go to Matthew. Matthew, what is up in your Lego world, buddy?
I am building the Cantina set. I think I'm on bag number 8 or 9, and as I said in a previous show, my view of the Cantina was if they made a big one, I would just throw my money at it. So I did throw my money, and I'm having fun building it. I will say that the bar, I built the bar section. It's pretty snazzy. It's got some nice design elements, and one of the things that I like is a diagonal wall that's on a hinge plate to break up just the squareness of the layout. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying building some aliens. I always wish that there were more alien minifigs because, my existence will not be complete until they make a minifig of every alien in the Cantina scene. So I guess my existence will never be complete. But but I'm having fun, and that's what I'm up to. This is true.
That's cool, man. Okay. I'm not going to call you out, but I'm going to ask the question. Are you ever going to build on the cathedral ever again?
I am.
It's been 6 months, man. I was kidding.
Well, the workers, they haven't gotten their higher wages, and so they're still holding out.
It's been 87 years.
One of the reasons that I'll have to finish it is that I'm going to need that table again. And so that's probably going to be the make or break thing. Like, we were supposed to have guests come over last weekend, for board gaming, and then that got canceled. So I was like, well, I guess I don't have to finish the Cathedral.
So yeah, right. So yeah, nobody's coming over. We're good. All right, that's awesome. Let's see, Brian. Let's talk to you, man. Brian, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. I got a really cool set recently. I had meant to show it last week, but forgot to. But I got this.
Oh, nice.
With the box. Yeah. Found a really good deal. Buy it now on eBay, so I had to grab that one. And I decided to just make something out of it using the pieces. Just came up with this.
Ooh.
So, got
Play
a little
feature.
tavern for the horseman.
What is that guy stoned laying out there? Is he laid out from the tavern?
He's technically on a bed, but yeah, he could be stoned. You know.
What's up, MJ Bricks?
And the elusive black feather that is like a $20 piece.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that? Because I got like 10. Do you want them?
Are you kidding me?
I literally have a couple.
I
No,
literally
that-
paid $18 for this piece. Oh my!
Oh.
All right, see you guys. Why do I even try?
So
There you
Brian,
go.
So Brian, do you get to tax write that off for your show, or
You
or
know,
what?
probably. I just filmed a review of it. It was so painful because I got a great deal on the set, and of course it was missing that one feather, but it had like literally every other of the 3 variations. So
typical
Which feather is that?
the black one?
the small black feather.
The small one. Like that. Okay,
It
yeah.
had-
I have one of those.
Yeah. I can account for one, I think.
That's crazy.
I
That's
keep thinking
interesting.
that I have one, and then I go looking for it, and no, I don't have one.
That is literally the smallest piece of Lego probably they make. It was $18.
It is by far the most expensive by weight piece I've ever bought, and it did not feel good.
Only your internet data is more expensive per ounce. So, all right.
I will say
That is-
that ties into the thing about me being a completionist, which we'll get to later tonight, but that's a huge part of it.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Little segue, but we're not ready yet.
We're not there yet. We'll come back. We'll circle
Don't
back
jump the
around.
shark now.
Right.
But yeah, so that was my most recent purchase, and then obviously I was at Brickco. But as everybody was leaving, since nobody told me when y'all got there, but you know, I'm not
I
bitter.
took a picture of my food. If you
That
didn't,
doesn't tell me when you're leaving. Anyways,
5 minutes
so-
after I get it, that's what it means.
so I was able to get a couple minifigures. I built this neat little Western diorama just from some of the minifigures that I got there.
Nice.
That's cool.
I got that
Yeah.
headdress.
Yeah, I love the printing on the Indian figures. They look fantastic. So, and then I got a bunch of pictures or pieces, like 10 ounces of pieces just for the Rock Raider stuff that I'm building. So it was a successful trip.
Yep. Can I just say though? I will say this. You know, when you walked in with your mask, it didn't take me very long to go, "Oh, that's Brian."
You can tell.
Oh,
true.
yeah, okay. I've made fun of your hair. I'm just jealous. I'm just jealous of the hair.
Listen, I know. All of you are.
All of us.
That's right. Yeah, we are. All right, Mr. Sandlin, what's going on, man?
I had a pretty good week. I went to the Big Lots. They apparently over the weekend got in pallets of small sets like the Spider Mech and the Iron Man mech and the little sets. They got Mandalorian battle packs and some cars and various things. And so I got a heads up from one of the guys on the Discord for Bricks and Beer. And so I went over to my local Big Lots and got 2 Spider Mechs, 2 Iron Mans, and 1 Mandalorian battle pack. And with coupon codes and stuff, I got all of that $22.50. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
My man.
that was
Right.
right. So now I have I went through them and used up the mixer joints, having a whole bag of mixer joints again.
Mixel joint. You will have those for about 2 builds, and you'll be out of Mixel joints again.
So in the last week, I built this another variation of one of my Spacey Mech kind of things. This one is got like the solar power transporter kind of thing going on the back there.
That's so cool.
Very awesome.
And then
6952.
be like a charging, like he plugs this into spaceships or vehicles or something and charges them up with power. That's this guy's job. He's a power mech. Awesome. So yeah, that was fun. I built this in the last week. And I got the Monster Burger truck, but I'll talk about that in a little bit when we start talking about what kind of builders and set buyers and stuff we are. That's relevant to our topic. So
Okay, cool.
I will say to chats.
Somebody's got a little feedback going on. I'm not sure who, but that's all cool. Let's see, Mr. Proudlove, what is up in your part of the world, man?
Hello. No, not too terribly much. I had a couple things come in the last couple weeks. One of them was the Harley Davidson set that I won as a door prize for BrickCon.
Cool.
It lasted about not even like 6 hours before I started modding it and putting lower seat and different wheels and rise handlebars. So that's a in progress bobber.
Cool.
Very cool.
Modification of that set that I'm doing. And I also got I traded with Mark for he wanted a couple minifigs for Small Paul, and the only thing I asked for a Fleebnork in return, and so that came in today, and I built a little containment unit for it. Yeah. That doesn't work very well, but
Okay,
so,
but the care instructions are important as well. Do you have those with you?
I do have them. His name is Francis. Do they all have the same name? Or are they?
No, they do not. They each have
nice.
their own name. Ryan has one that. Ryan, isn't yours name Willard? I think.
Willard or Wilfred?
The no Canadian coins. I like that. I'll have to keep them away from my coin jar. So yeah, that was fun.
Yes, if you have, I gave people some Fleebnorks this weekend, and I did not give you the care instructions.
I did not get instructions. It has been driving me nuts. The thing has been all over my office. I can barely keep it under control.
Have you built a containment unit?
Half your collection.
Mine's actually growing. The minifigures that Nathan traded to me are having a battle royale on the city here.
Classic.
And I think Small Paul has decided that King Kong has won this battle.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
So that Mark, is that an official Rampage mock?
This was a Metropolis I built for a lug build months ago, and it was ideal for these figures that just came in last week. Small Paul was like, I could put those on the city. And
oh yeah, man, that's great.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Chris.
Something's on fire though back here. I think we've got a little.
Or King Kong has farted.
I could not get it out before you guys. I was going to say the same thing.
You beat Chris to a fart joke. That's impressive.
That's impressive. That's really impressive.
Thank you. I
was going to say there's a hibachi back there, and then you let one go. So. All right, Gil, what is up in your world, man?
Well, I'm on another computer camera, so if I'm lagging, then you know why. Am I lagging?
Tell the Canadian beavers to pedal faster.
No. So, two things so far. Number one, listening to all this, I realized that my progressive rock, Canadian rock band, Black Feather, is going to be our next single.
Yes.
Second thing, if you feed the Fleebnork after midnight, it turns into Nickelback. So be careful.
I'll be sure to be careful of that.
So anyway, for this week, I'm just gonna gotta do this because it's lagging so much. I don't know who's saying what. Built.
I need the $6 million man sound effect for Gil turning around.
No.
Oh, what happened? We don't want to see you. We lost Gil.
No,
Send out the rescue dogs.
Rest in peace. He's a good man.
I saw all sorts of cool space.
I saw Space Police. It looked awesome.
It was probably a Canadian applehead.
Bring him back.
In the arms of the angel.
Too many Canadians on the show using up all the Canadian band.
That's entirely possible.
You're not helping, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, get off.
Quit sucking up the bandwidth.
Oh,
Take
look,
off
Rich
over
made
it.
it back in. Rich turned the gun.
He lost his
USA. USA.
You cut off
Kick
one
the
part of the
Canadian out.
Hydra and another arm replaces it.
That was right on top of it. It's like, oh, he's gone.
On the button.
Enter.
Let's see. Richard Chamus is here in the chat with us, and Jeff McElwee is in the chat on the side here. Welcome, Jeff. Good to have you here. Geddy Lee, best bassist ever. I thought you had a thing with you didn't like Rush there, Meredith. We got to talk about that.
Wait. It's the best Canadian rock band of all time.
Okay, we'll just admit in America that's the only Canadian rock band we know about, but it is the best one, period.
Hey! I mean, it's no Skinner, but, whatever.
But it's no Daft Punk, so let's just move on.
That's right. All right, we're gonna get to Dana and doing the set of the week and everything, but we do have a new friend. Not yet.
Oh, okay. How about now?
Bunch of weirdos. By the way, this is our 24th show, I believe I counted,
Right.
which is kind of cool. And so you'd figure you'd have that by now. Anyway, so Dave, welcome to this motley crew here. I dropped a band name. That's an American one. And known Dave since probably Wreck Toys Lego and Lugnet, I'm pretty sure.
Definitely Lugnet.
And if there's a guy who collects Lego and gets it to build stuff, this is the guy. This is the guy who likes a lot of classic space. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been building all those things?
I've been building since my earliest memories because I'm the youngest brother and youngest cousin of a huge family, and they all had Legos. So I've been building. My earliest memories are with Lego. So 50 plus years.
Nice.
And he has all the Lego now.
Well, I've been accused of that. I've actually let stuff go, but this is what I'm working on this week. I'm revisiting my youth. I just built this last night.
I had that set. That was a beautiful set to try to collect.
My friend Ralph and I were talking about this one, so I had to put him together. It seems that when I'm talking about a set with somebody, I have to put it together, just like the Robot Command Center. Hey, we're talking about it. I have to put it together. So, who doesn't like Rush?
Yeah, right. You're talking to yourself. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's a bad habit. So lately, I just been the classic space layout that we're probably going to talk about in a bit. But I'm also just creating YouTube videos to talk about my hobby because I need something to do to keep me sane, basically, right now. So,
all right. So we've got to talk. That is a serious crap ton of Lego behind you in bins. Or do you sort all by color, or are you by color and part, or what?
Overall, it's by color then by function. The Technic is a little different because the axle pins they come in a variety of colors, but they're still axle pins, so they just go blue, tan, black go in the same bin, light gray. Axles as well. Three length axles are red, gray, and black. They just stay there, so they're sorted by function first. So, but the rest of it is sorted by color, and then if it starts overflowing, I start breaking it down into specific functions. So, for example, I have one bin just full of the Octagon bricks.
Oh my god!
That was a Bricklink order to end all Bricklink orders because I was going to use these for the space layout, and I never got around to it. So
I think I have 6 of those.
That's the type of guy who jacks up the prices on Bricklink for the rest of us.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
You guys just gotta my wing plates.
I gotta know, why do you have 3 IceSat Vs?
Oh,
up at the top there.
I have 2 more over here too.
I was going to say, I think I've got at least 2. So, if you
you're
only have
outclassing
one,
Dana,
if you only have one, what are you doing?
I would have to say I have one favorite set, except for Classic Space, which are all my favorite. But of all the themes, this is my favorite in Ice Planet. So I just happen to acquire lots, and I keep on putting them together. So, and they have them up there.
Dave, Chris, and I both have had conversations about that set. It is probably the best Ice Planet set. I personally feel, and it is in the top 10.
Well, easily.
Space sets, easily
in the top 10 of all Classic Space.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just perfect.
Yeah, there's so much awesomeness about that set.
That and the Renegade's in my top 10 too. The Renegade, it blew me away. The box, the picture on the box, I had to buy it, and I think I was 18 when it was released, or 17. I walked into the store, I saw it. I didn't have to buy anything else. I grabbed it and went home and built it. So, what else? Chris wanted me to show you around the Lego room. So forget the shaky cam, because we're going to go really, really quickly. Shaky cam time. Yeah. So yeah, those up there. All my transits here, because I'm always going into there. This is my shelf that I have to sort out better. Pieces that I grab a lot. All my minifigs. But over here is how I sort overall. I don't know if you can see that. Modified bricks, panels, slopes, tiles, round 4x N plates, 6x N plates. Let's get up there. And then 1x N plates, 2x N plates, mod plates, bricks, and bricks. So as soon as a bin gets full, it gets sorted even smaller. So if you look at the reds, I have a 2x4 bin of just red 2x4 bricks.
Now I see there's a child back there too. A small Lego child.
Yeah, we got, because I was in RTL Toronto for a long time, Lego Canada invited us for a tour of their place in Buttonville back in the day. And when we were there, they gave us some free swag, including each one of us got a big minifig.
Nice.
So,
what?
Yeah.
Man, I would love one of those.
No kidding.
So that was very nice. They were very, very nice to us. That was a wonderful tour. When I was a kid, well, I just had my license. I actually got a tour of Stratford when the Lego Canada was in Stratford. So. That's perfect.
All right. So I got a question. Your Lego room, are we seeing all of it, or is there more layers to the labyrinth?
No, this is the back half of my house, 18 feet wide. This part's 8 feet and that part's 5 feet. I had to separate it because this was the rec room, part of the rec room. And my wife was just sick of the Lego kind of encroaching onto the rest of the house. So I put a wall up here and the shelves. And so all the Lego in my entire collection is right here. That's the idea anyway. That's what we're making. But besides the Saturn V, which is on display in the rec room, and the Bolt in the Bottle, which is on top of the TV upstairs, all the Legos in this room.
So what about your big moon base?
Moon? Oh, sorry, I forgot about the moon base. If you saw my video, the 6 of the boxes are in the garage, and I got 2 underneath my desk here. So
okay.
They're just
and that contains the moon base inside those boxes that you use for display.
Yes.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
Do you have a picture of that to throw into the share to the screen?
I can try.
Also, where would one find you on the
YouTubes? Sparky 1701.
Sparky 1701.
Yeah, I guess I do have a love of Star Trek. This is an older one. Do I have a newer one here? I don't know if Chris has got this.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, there's a button down there that says share screen underneath, like everybody in the room.
Oh yeah, there we go. I'm IT, by the way.
Oh, you're the worst then. Yeah.
Dave's Lego Cave was like the last scene of Raiders. Epic. Yes, it is epic. That's awesome. All right, you got it?
Do you see me?
Oh, there it is. Okay, I saw it right there. Here we go.
So this is this is just a quick. Oh, I don't want to do this really quickly. Let's go back to the beginning. So this is one of our shows. This
goodness.
is Brick Fat. Sorry, this is Brick World Chicago that Jeff and I did back in 2010. This is one of our little shows up here in Toronto. This is the very first Brick Fat.
Can you zoom in on those?
2011.
If you hit the button and zoom on them, we can see them even better. Or is that the size they are?
Flickr doesn't play well with
Yeah,
Zoom.
clear the caption.
Yeah, Flickr kind of
Yeah.
cheaps you out.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Let me do that. There you go. Try it again. That's about it.
That's
Yeah.
about it.
Flickr. Flickr.
This is one of our little shows. This one got a little bigger. I'll skip past that one. This is our biggest display we ever did. It's 10 feet by 18 feet.
Awesome.
It was on the floor, which got a little annoying when you're putting it together and taking it down.
Yeah, that would probably hurt the back a lot.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you're 40 plus, it just gets a little.
Speaking of another Canadian, there's Jeff Van Winden. Welcome. Alyssa, welcome to the chat. Paul Kameyer, I think I said that. I hope I said that right. Welcome here. Welcome to the chat. Glad you're here. It's awesome.
This is one of my favorites because I tried to make an accent aigu, which is French for a little chevron. But I also got an easy up 10 by 10 tarp thing, and I put black curtains around it to make it look dark, and I tried to light it up. So this is at Brick Fat 2014 or something like that.
Nice.
So that's my big project right now is to light up everything in the layout. That's about it.
There you go, folks. There is a clickable link to go get subscribe to this young man, this Canadian wonder. Make his home land be proud.
That's right. Go like and subscribe, and if you haven't done it to this channel or anybody else represented,
amen.
Do the clickings. All right.
Attention, live panel. Go ahead and pull Chris's video open and like it, please, because he only has 4 right now.
Yeah. Now, the only thing. Oh yeah, show us the boxes. Your storage crates are like super cool.
Yeah, they're half the fun.
So yeah, that's the layout. Okay, this one's a little messy.
That's the end of the show. Get it in and get home, right?
Yeah. But yeah, those are the 4 boxes that hold all the buildings.
Oh, I just want to hug them.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And these are my shelves that hold all the miscellaneous parts. Get to the layout. All
That's super sweet.
What's monorail?
So those 4 narrow boxes and the 4 big boxes are my entire layout. And they store in the van just like that.
Hey, that looks like Fleetmore's storage modular that he made.
I meant to make these studs round, but that didn't happen, so it is what it is.
Oh yeah, that you gotta give yourself some points off for that. Come on.
Could you do better, please?
Next time. This is my first iteration. I'll do better in my second one. So I wanted to remake those beautiful 5x6 pictures on 926 and the Beta 1. So the 2079, and this is just the box number, box 2 and box 1. And we did this with our Cricut cutter. So that worked out perfectly. I don't think there's anything else you need to see.
What's up, Brick Blaze?
Don't forget to catch him gaming on Twitch after this.
That's right.
Huh?
That's awesome, man.
Thanks, sir. So yeah, and you just get the inside, like, cause this is why I want to light it up so you can see the people working inside. And that's my main thrust right now is to get everything lit up in the entire layout.
That's so great. Every time you post those pictures like that, I'm just like, man, that is just. I want to be one of the minifigs and just hang out there. That's my dream in life right there. So
this isn't a kiss up, but back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back on Mugnet, when I was busy building robots for RTL Toronto competitions, I lived in Classic Space. I lived in the space chats and watching Chris and Mark build stuff, and I just never did it publicly. But of course, I've had my Classic Space since I was like 10 in the house, and I finally got around to doing a display. I think Jeff's and I first display was in 2007, which is well after I met Chris and everybody. So Chris inspired me to do this, and so this is because of you, Chris.
That's very kind.
It's all your fault, Chris.
Yeah. However much you spend on that, don't tell your wife, and don't blame me. So.
Well, the good part is I didn't know her when I was starting, so that was I got most of these pieces before we got married. So
that helps.
Hey, if she walks in and she sees that and she's sticking around, then you know you win. If she goes, I am so out. Then,
we met at a Lego show.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I won't say it was a setup, but Jeff Van Winden worked with her and brought her to the show to meet me. So I'm not saying that was a setup, but it was pretty much a setup.
Mr. Van Winden, we need to have your side of this story. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's some awesome wingman action.
If your buddy brings you your future wife to a Lego show, you are one up on all of us, okay?
That's wild.
Is this
internet points right there?
Is this a Lego matchmaking service?
This is not a dating stream.
I think there needs to be an app. There needs to be an app for single Lego fans called Stuck Together.
There you go.
I think it's called 1x5 bricks.
Or maybe
right.
it's called Clutch Power.
Clutch Power.
He claims innocence, so that's all right.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Dana, let's go off some of your world and let's get to the set of the week. What's up, man?
Week.
Not yet.
Week.
Stop it, dude. Jumping the gun.
Spoilers. Gosh, geez, wow. So yeah. Big Lego week, but big just busy week in general. So Saturday, of course, you guys probably talked about this on Monday, so I'm going to recap anyway. We all went down to Land of Brick Company to hang out. Chris hooked me up with my Fleet Nork minus instructions, so he's been causing all sorts of terror around my entire office. Also got to hang out with Julian for the first time in person, which was awesome.
What's up? Yeah, I'm Dana's cool. I'm cooler. No.
Yep. He is, but because he gave me the Pink Bucket Nation sticker, so I was rocking.
That was shiny. That's the shiny sticker.
Shiny one. And then on top of that, I also got a little Pink Bucket helmet for my stick fig.
I didn't tell you what to do. You got to put a cone on top of your head.
Yeah. I kind of feel like what's that character on Fat Albert? Was it Mush Mush?
Mush Mouth.
Mush Mouth. Yeah. So that was fun. So my whole intention, or part of my intention for going to Land of Brick Company was looking for little black helmets for my M-Tron figures back here, which I was able to bring home and throw them together. So I got a couple more extra M-Tron figures. And then on Friday, I digitally built a little background. And so then on Monday, I was on a phone call for 15 hours. And so I decided to build it. So now I've got this cool little background with doors that slide open that I'm hoping to do maybe some stop motion with, that I'm kind of having some ideas in my head, play around that a little more.
Okay, wait. I need you to hear the beep and back this truck up and tell me who you were talking to for 15 hours on the phone.
Oh, yeah. So I work in IT, and somebody called me at like 9:15 and said, hey, can you join this call? It might be a load balancer issue. And I chime in, I get on there. And within about an hour and a half, I realized it has nothing to do with what I do. But because it's not working and it's got to go through my appliance, I've got to stay with them for the next whatever long it takes to get it fixed. And I got off the phone at about 10 after midnight.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a long day.
Crazy.
They sucked.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. So back to the Saturday when we were down at Land Brick Company, going through the helmets, because they've got a big bucket of helmets that you can go through. And Chris walks over and he's like, "What you looking for?" And we're kind of scurrying through the bucket, and he's like, "Oh, hey, look at this helmet you found."
No.
Oh, you put it on that dude, though, man. Come on, man.
So I had to grab it. I had to grab the headdress because I've got a couple. I've got one of the big green base plates that go for these Aztec Island Adventure sets, and so I think I'm going to have to finish parting it out. So
I would.
Good luck. That's
I like how the blue hands go with the headress.
It doesn't go. This is snazzy.
That's it perfectly.
It's very complimentary.
It works. And then the other thing
that is a space proctologist. That's what that is. He's got that blue gloves.
Snap.
Get
So,
it
Doc, you got just the whole fist in there, or just 2 fingers?
Moon River.
Moon River.
What the heck is going on?
So the other thing I'm doing today is I pull out my monorail. One of my monorail sets. It's
It's worse than Mark's dog.
She's a good.
Sadly, this monorail set did not make it through transit back from Brick Fair one year, so it's time to put it back together so I can take some pictures of it for my Instagram account and stuff like that.
Ooh, Instagram.
I mean, I realized I haven't been posting any of my classic space pictures to Flickr, so I think I'm going to have to do that probably this weekend too. So,
why are you wasting your time?
Because there's some people out there who are over 40 who actually go on Instagram. So who knows?
Just don't go over to the TikTok.
Yeah,
go to TikTok. That's
go
what
to
it
the
is.
TikTok. Maybe I should do some TikTok. Maybe
should
TikTok.
you should definitely do TikTok.
We need more classic space content on TikTok.
I mean, yes.
TikTok's when you draw your
I
creation.
want to do more. That's the whole reason for this Moonbase little thing here is to do some stop motion. So stop motion just screams TikTok to me. So maybe I'll do it.
Those soccer moms and 13-year-old girls sure do like the classic space. I'll tell you right now.
Absolutely.
We can make them like it.
You gotta win
do
over
it,
somehow,
you.
right? As long as I throw like some hip hop music in there and get one of them do some twerking or whatever that other thing is that they've been doing.
You sound very, very, very Caucasian by putting enunciation on twerking, by the way.
So do you, fellow children?
Do I got to southern it out and go twerking?
That sounded better than the first time.
Listen, if I'm too old for TikTok, y'all can't even be talking about it.
Whoa. I have almost 2,000 TikTok followers. Watch out now.
2,000?
But hey, here's the thing.
That's 1999 too many.
There is
I was gonna say
of young 20-something Star Wars Lego guys all over TikTok, and they need focus. We're there for it. Hey, you guys can say whatever you want. Have fun.
I'm sorry, I'm reading Gil's comment here.
Yeah,
I'm not going to read it, but
wow, just wow.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It sings to me.
What's the classic set of the week?
Please put the set on.
What's the classic set of the week?
All right, so this is going to be a blatant segue, but Chris, go ahead and take us to the other screen. All right, kids. Every class. Oh, wait. Go back. Our over set of the week.
Week. You ruined it. You ruined it.
Week.
This
Everything.
week is everything. Every classic space set that you can think of. It's this week. It's what it's all
I
about.
got one of those.
Exactly.
This is the best set ever.
Yeah.
The theme is classic space, 1978 to 1987.
Wait a second. There's no UFO in that.
74 sets.
I got one of those.
A whopping 128 minifigures. Used price? Priceless.
Hey.
Priceless. Why is it cool? Space!
That's all you need.
Space!
That's it.
Bucket list item checked. And last but not least, why it's cool, envy of all your friends.
There's lots of envy.
So with this, I'm making a blatant segue into tonight's theme, Chris, of are you a collector, completionist, or builder?
All right, and I did change your name to make sure point out what you're doing today.
Yes.
Now we'll go ahead and say I will go ahead and say you began a journey. Was it 2 years ago of collecting them all, or
Oh no, it's probably got to be 5 years ago. Yeah, it was shortly after you and I, actually right after I met you and Mark. I went to my first Lug meeting for Dixie Lug. We had a guy walk in and he said, "Hey, I've got a business that I'm starting where I'm selling bricks by color by the pound, and I need people to sort those bricks." And he kind of basically said, "I can't pay you, but I can give you Lego." And so the whole deal was you put down a deposit, and it was like $10 a pound. And he later lowered it down to where like I was picking up like 40 or 50 pounds, and he had like $200 for my deposit. But in the first or second batch I was going through and I was piecing through, the next biggest thing that is on my Buy Me Coffee or something other site, I think is what it is.
TikTok.
No. So needless to say, in like the second batch I was sorting through, there was like 3 classic spacemen floating in there, and then a couple other little pieces that were obviously from classic space sets. And so it kind of became like an archaeologist dig to decipher, well, I got these figures and these very specific pieces. I wonder if the rest of the parts for these specific sets are in this bulk. And sure enough, they were. And I only still had the 8 original sets that I had from when I was a kid. And I always really wanted all those other sets, but there's the logic of trying to go out and buy them all. Just my wallet was like, no way, I can't do that. But if I could part them together, and through sorting through bulk with this guy, maybe
just buy enough bulk, you'll be able to do it. Yeah, just keep buying that bulk.
So I basically spent the next 2.5, 3 years going through and slowly building up all these sets, acquiring some instructions along the way. And then I think eventually I got to the point where I was down to like, I was missing like 3 or 4 pieces from about 20 sets to finish off all 74. And I got a hold of Soren out of Denmark, and he hooked me up with probably, I think it was like probably like 150 US for this last like 150 pieces that I needed. And then boom, that was Classic Space. And then along the way, I started collecting a couple of M-Tron sets. And I think I actually finished the M-Tron series before I finished Classic Space. And then my wife bought me this monorail for Christmas one year. And I was like, well, now that I've got the monorail, and that's like the big daddy of the Futron, I need to part together all the Futron sets. And so it snowballed out of control down the hill. And I've become some completionist in some weird way.
I think that I'm missing maybe 918, and that's it.
So I think with Dave's help up there,
9, or at the ready, he's got 57 918s. Look at that.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to hook me up, Dave, I'll take a 918. Just one. I just need one. I don't need 5. Just one.
So Dave,
one 918.
He's getting more.
What's instruction?
They're in the box. They're in storage.
And Dave, go ahead and drop
the instructions. I don't know. What's the price, man?
Dave, I don't have instructions. We can talk about that during our collector thing, but I don't keep instructions. I don't bother.
Ah!
Oh,
that hurts.
So we talked. The categories I invented were let's see, constructor or collector, completist, or corner of the market, which is Dave, right?
Yeah.
Dave,
All right,
how many Galaxy Explorers you have?
How many Galaxy Explorers did I had at one point over 12?
Over 12. Wait a minute, so what have you whittled yourself down to?
8.
Oh, still. Yeah.
I donated one a year.
Your collection. I'm jealous of that.
I donated one per year to the auction at BrickFet, to the charity auction. Hey, Chris, if you can share my screen again so that people can see what was in the layout at one point.
Okay, just everybody take a breath, because I got a feeling this is going to hurt and be glorious at the same time.
It's not. I like Dana's picture better.
Avert your eyes, Marion. Keep your eyes shut. Here we go.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
At one of our shows, this was in the layout. This is all the ships that were in the layout, and you can see 2, 4, 6, 7 Galaxy Explorers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. Hold on, Ryan.
I will say that rocket in the back is Jeff Van Winden's, and that big blue ship in the middle is Jeff's as a mock. And I think he had a colorized Megacore magnetizer. I don't know if it was in this layout. Yeah, it's right there in the middle, the Megacore magnetizer that was made in class.
Oh, that's what that is. I was wondering what that was. Yep.
So I saw Gil's comment where they give out 918s. Tell Gil they needs to include that with the Canadian tourism to give them to all incoming tourists.
I'll be there in a minute. That's amazing. That's so amazing. It's like that's like the end the Rise of Skywalker with all the Star Destroyers. Yours is good anyway. So,
and you're not nearly as undead as the Emperor.
That's right, or weird, or whatever it happened. So
that's 40 years of collecting. That's 40 years of collecting. Right
there. In collecting Lego, being the Lego hobby, whatever, we've all seen it all. We have seen moms at shows with 170 versions of a rare Stormtrooper lay it out on the table, and that's a mock, and which then makes us old guys get mad because that's not a mock, that's just spending money. And we have seen people do customs and everything. We all, hey Brick Studios, welcome to the chat. We all have our mode of how we do our hobby, and just go ahead and preface this as we get into the discussion and everything. No one's here to tell you how to do your hobby. You do your hobby your way. But we're also grumpy old men, so we can be all grumpy about it and go, put that on the shelf. Anyway, so we have the right to be grumpy old men making fun of each other in love and everything about how you do your Lego. So would you consider yourself, we'll go around the room, just everybody pipe up, and if we get all jumbled, I'll try to call on somebody. Are you consider yourself more a constructor, somebody who gathers parts to build? Are you more a collector? You're getting the sets to display the sets. Are you a completist? You're getting all the sets? Or we can probably just have another category of Abner who buys everything and never builds it. If you don't know Abner, that's Abner, right? I seriously wonder how many more months of COVID before he opens a set. But anyway, I love Abner. Abner's awesome. Are you a completist? Like, do you have to have all the CMFs? Do you have to display them and everything? So, and which do you think is the purest version of the hobby? Now, that's where we can get into an argument.
I think you want to go there.
That's like asking what somebody's political affiliation is.
Hey, wait,
go there. No politics.
Are you a cutter? Do you? No, I'm just kidding. We're not talking about that. That's
show you something.
I'd like to go first.
Sure.
I'd like to think that I'm a constructionist. It's only because I'm going to be gone in 8 minutes. I'd like to think that I'm a constructor now, especially since I do layouts and buildings and that. I'll start with a Lego set, a creator town set, modular building, and when I see what Lego's done and see how inadequate it is, I have to buy, $300 worth of parts to actually make it wide enough and deep enough and have things in it to actually make it substantial. So I think I'm a constructionist at this point. I think I used to be a collector, to some degree, a completionist, because I used to collect all the classic space stuff, just to make sure that I had enough parts to do my own thing, which was, again, into construction. In the next 8 minutes, yes, in the next 8 minutes, I would be gone. Thank you, Nick.
Welcome, Nick, to the chat.
Yes. 7 minutes to go.
So, all right. So you say you're a constructor, but what do you collect and what do you display? Is there sets you actually treasure and display?
Classic space. I had on a bookshelf a Galaxy Explorer because as it was one of the first substantial classic space sets that I had gotten as a kid. And when I ran across the second one, even though I could have built it out of the parts that I had, when I got my hands on another one, it sat on a shelf in the rest of the downstairs storage area for at least 4 years, proudly displayed on the shelf. Galaxy Explorer.
That's it? That is the only Lego set that Lego made?
No, there's other stuff. There's I had what else I have? Space shuttles. I had the shuttle on the back of the airplane, and then at work I had while I was working, I had a Saturn V, the lunar module, the LEM set up, and since I used to own a Mustang until recently, I had the Mustang set at work.
Okay.
But it took a long while before I had a place to actually at work to actually bring stuff and leave it there. Plus the 787. I had a 787 in my office for close to 10 years.
Sorry, I'm being entertained by there was a border comment from Gil. I'm not going to put on here. So of what you got to do to get into Canada, it has to do with. Never mind. Something with moose.
They can read it.
The south end of a northbound moose. But anyway, all right. So who wants to tell me your philosophy? Are you a collector? Are you?
I'm leaving at 8 too. That works for Rick. So.
Use the English.
I know. We're not in Canada. So, truthfully, what it's always been, because I don't have a Lego store around me, I used to just buy sets and they were low budget. They were $10, $20 sets, $30 sets. I'd build them. I'd break them down. I'd sort them away. Now that I'm just a builder, and this is just for fun. I don't know. Not much. How are you doing?
Wait, I'm fine now. How are you?
Wait, what are you? USA. Okay, no. Sorry. Yeah, no. I don't know what you would call me. I don't know what category I fit in. I don't go to Bricklink. I go to Marketplace, but I don't go to Bricklink.
Okay. All right.
So you're a constructor. I mean, look at all the pink stuff in the background. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that accidentally happened. That doesn't even mean. And I keep stuff displayed like new sets that I really like.
Nice.
I like these guys, and then I love my modulars, and I consider that like a white whale for me. I only have the one, so, but Town Hall, this one. I'm not even trying to flex and stuff like that. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. I got an orange spaceman. Does that count?
Yes, it does. Uh-oh.
See? Yeah.
I just saw his in the background. Had to get mine.
I pointed it out.
It's got the stickers on it, too.
I looked up on Bricklink, and there's two sticker sheets. $39.50 for one, or the other one in Germany that's $257 just for stickers.
Just get it out of your
be like me and get yours for free from a friend.
There you go. Well, listen, I don't know how many more friends I've got.
2,000 on TikTok.
There it is. No, I don't. But those are my friends. Yeah, that's my family. I was actually thinking about going aftermarket on these stickers.
Ryan, arson is a crime in some places.
It don't hurt.
I didn't mean it as an insult. He bragged about it earlier, so I threw it back.
Wait. Just because someone says something doesn't mean they're bragging.
Oh no, I was bragging like hell yeah. No,
Mom, they're my friends.
I know all 2,000.
All right. So who next? Who wants to talk about how you see yourself? What mode or what next? All right, Brian. I see you,
next.
Brian.
I'm absolutely a completionist. That is, it's a disease and it's a problem on my wallet when I get hooked on a theme and I go, well, now I've got to get all of them, even the sets that I don't really like. So I've got all of Rock Raiders, all of Life on Mars, all of Zalix, all of Orient Expedition, and like very close to all of Arctic, and several other themes that are just like, once I get set on a theme, and I'm doing it now with like Classic Castle and all this stuff, I just go all out for one theme for no reason, and it can be pretty draining on the pocketbook.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why he has nothing on his walls.
So Brian, I gotta ask you. I mean,
I can't afford walls.
No, that's it.
He had to sell his Rembrandts to pay for the Lego.
There it is.
Because Brian, out of all of the old gray brickers here, you're our young token young guy.
Yes.
So what
call him more Junior?
Yeah, you can call me Junior.
What got you into collecting all these classic sets that came out before you were born?
Because they're better. Sorry.
They honestly they are. Here, 1 second. I gotta move to another outlet. It's about to die. But the main thing that got me into it was having the Ultimate Lego book as a kid, and that one gives like the entire history of Lego from like the 30s to 99, I believe was it when it was released. And so watching or just being able to look at that for I would read that thing religiously. And so seeing things like the Cheese Castle and like the LMS Explorer and all this other crazy cool stuff that I didn't even know were sets. Sorry guys, this is really bad, but that's where we gotta go. Anyways, so just seeing like all those old sets that I never even knew were sets that were around from before like I was born, honestly, that just got me hooked on it. And I like the simplicity of old sets because you'll see new sets now that look more like I think Star Wars is the key example to this. Is they look more like models that happen to be made out of Lego, whereas you see like the original Star Wars wave, and it's like it's Lego that happens to be a Star Wars ship. And so I think that's
saying that Star Wars is an old theme. Is that what you're telling us?
Seeing as how my collection is mostly like 1999 to 2002, yeah, for me that's old.
Respect. That's right, boy. Yep. You just called Star Wars old.
Yeah,
I would remove you, but somebody else would take your spot. But keep up, young man, and you're out. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I am out. I love you.
See you, Brick Smith.
We love you too.
Oh, thank you.
We lost an American and gained a Canadian, so just let you know that what the score is right here. So.
Pretty even exchange
Four
rate.
people.
All right, but now, that's right. So Brian, it was a Floridian. So that anyway. So Brian,
you own that seat.
Obviously, you are collector the most. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Like I display a lot. Like I have so much displayed right here. But I also
we would never know it.
Hold on, I can give you a look at it. Here we go. There's my display.
Oh wait! Let me give you the camera. Oh, look at that!
Nice.
So I've actually taken down almost this entire thing here was Classic Castle, but I've taken it down because I'm making room for Rock Raiders. But what I was going to say is that I cycle through sets that I like to display. So, like whenever I'm into a theme, like right now it's Rock Raiders. Over the summer it was Classic Castle. I'll just fill an entire shelf with that specific theme. And when I get, I just like to, since I review stuff, I like to have everything like absolutely perfect down to the exact piece, even the era of the piece. Like I'll go into Bricklink and like make sure it's the right mold type of a specific brick as far as like the underside of it, just because I want it to be correct. So very much into like making sure things are 100% complete as they originally were. So it pains me to like pull sets apart or even just be digging through boxes and see parts that I'm like, oh, I know what set that goes to. Why isn't it in that set right now? So I am not good at mocking because of that. Like it like I have a couple mocks here and I see pieces that I'm like, I know what sets those go to, and it bothers me that they're not in that set right now. So it's a disease. I didn't choose to be this way, but it is the way I've become.
So what Chris didn't add into the categories is what I like to refer to what Brian you do and what I do as set restoration.
Yes, hugely what I'm about. Is I love digging through even my own buckets. Like over the past 3 years or so, since I've gotten really intensely back into it, I'll go through all my buckets and try to rebuild as many sets as I can. I've probably built like 40 to 50 sets from my childhood back just by going through buckets. So yeah.
So what, stuff like from 2012?
Yeah. All the way from like last year when I was a kid.
Oh, me. All right. Well, that's cool. I can't think of a C word that would go with your
crazy.
Okay, I didn't want to say that, but you can go ahead and put that out there. That's fine.
Everybody here. Don't worry about
Nick
it.
says he weeps for
Yeah,
me.
this is like a giant glass house. Like,
I
don't
weep
be
for
throwing
me
that
too.
around. Yeah.
Right?
So before we lose him to a stiff breeze, Gil, what are you, man? What are you?
You know, that question has been asked in several different contexts
I'm
over
sorry, I
the
should
years.
clarify that. What Lego enthusiast are you?
Normally within like a dating context, but yeah. No, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely a builder. That's kind of what it's all about. However, the one thing that the one thing though is that whenever I get a set, it's very rare. Like unless it's a dupe, I will not build it. Like I always will, even if I don't quite make it to the end without modding it into something else. Which I find now in recent years, like with shortage on time, that's what I end up doing sort of more than anything else, is that I'll buy a set that I'd like, and then I'll sort of halfway through or basically just finish the thing and then go back and then start tweaking it and doing this. Tweaking, not twerking. So we know. But yeah, like, I mean, I for me to have like a set complete from the box and then sit on the shelf, like me being like a toy guy to start with, I got a ton of other stuff in here that fills that void, right? It's stuff that's right out of the box. I like how it was designed. I like how it was put together. And most of them are figures or, you know, Transformers or whatever, right? But when it comes to Lego, it's very much, it's the building process. And weirdly enough, it's actually sometimes the sorting process, which is really odd, because sometimes the sorting process for me can be incredibly creative. Like I've got a whole shelf full of like landing gear, computer, you know, consoles, you know, sort of like small sort of parts of builds, which again is like, it's all part of the creative process. So for me, the Lego is definitely the creative side. So yeah, that's the type of freak that I am.
And you know what? That brings up a good point, though, for those of us who are like me, who are more constructor than collector or whatever. Is okay, you put the Transformer on the shelf because that's kind of what it's for. You know, you put it on the shelf, or other collectibles you put on the shelf. But Lego's a construction toy, so you know, to build and rebuild is kind of the point. At least the way, you know, the old point was, which, you know, makes some of us go, no, you know. So, although I'm a hypocrite, I got Classic Space here. I got all the NASA stuff and the Sat-5 sitting over there. I'm never gonna tear those apart. Exactly. But for the most part, you know, when we bought the Hidden Side sets, they're not all staying together. They're going to get rebuilt in something else. So I'm jumping. I didn't mean to cut you off with that. But you made a good point, though, that, you know, yeah, you do have things on display, but that's kind of what they were made for, right?
Right.
And then you have your table scrap builds, which is cool and creative. And so you tend more to the constructor when it comes to the brick. That's cool.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, good. And keep them in a little pool of maple syrup. All right. Anyway, so
which I rub.
Can I piggyback off that?
Can I just tell you, this rub thing, you have been
too much rub. Can I piggyback off that, Chris?
What's that?
Can I piggyback off his point real quick?
Absolutely.
One thing that I've heard you guys mention before, and that it always bothers me because like I've grown up in an era where you don't need to do that, is that you guys would say you would buy like 10 copies of a set back in the day to like, you know, use the piece, just like tear it apart for pieces and use that. And that kills me because I would never do that. But like knowing that was the, like, you know, before Bricklink, you couldn't do that. Like you couldn't just go buy specific pieces, which is just, to me, it blows my mind. But now that Bricklink is a place, like for me, that's where I'm okay with using pieces, is like I know that these pieces are never going to be part of a set again, but I would never like, you know, buy a new set, tear it apart and use it just for pieces. So I think that maybe has changed the way some people do things because they don't have to buy new sets to do that. But that's just a thought that I had about that.
That's very apt. That's exactly right. Because before Bricklink, none of my Classic Space sets were together as they're out of the box, because I was building all these mocks because I didn't have any other pieces to use for the mocks.
Yeah.
Now I have 8 of these things because I have a million more wing plates. I can build whatever I want now and still use the other.
Okay, you're just holding that like it's like, you know.
It's my favorite.
Going, look, I got 4 of them.
I got 20 of them.
Oh, I got one propping up the door here.
Perfect shape.
If it wasn't available in the U.S., just rub it in.
The rub.
Just rub it in.
More rubbing. Okay,
So
I don't
much
know.
rubbing tonight.
I got my finger on the PG-13 button. So anyway.
All right.
All right. Who else, Matt?
Like, are you rubbing the button?
No.
So you know, I also collect Star Wars. I collect Star Wars action figures, and as I like to joke, when I was a kid and the commercial said collect them all, I took that as a literal instruction. And so, you know, my action figure strategy was one of every unique action figure. That was my goal. And when I started to really buy Lego, I very quickly realized that I was never going to own every Star Wars Lego set. And so it's been tremendously liberating to just let go of that. And so I don't have to own every Star Wars Lego set, but I am trying to get every Star Wars UCS level ship. And so in my Lego room behind, you can see there's the Falcon and there's the Star Destroyer.
Wait. Did you just say you don't want to collect all the cheap ones, but you do want to collect all the expensive ones? I'm just asking.
Just move the goalposts.
Exactly what I said. That is exactly what I said.
Okay.
I want to, but as Dana mentioned, I'm also a restorationist. So a couple of these things on the shelves, I pulled all the parts together, like the Vader tie and Jedi Starfighter. I just collected all the parts and eventually built the thing. So not all of them have been built, bought from the store or complete. Some have been reconstructed. But I'm also a builder. You know, so a lot of it's the price point. You know, if I buy $100 set, it's probably going to be put together and be a display piece until whenever I die or the hurricane knocks over the house one day. But if I buy a $25 set, it's probably going to be something I build and then break out for pieces. Sometimes I even buy sets that I don't care about, and I flip the minifigs and I just keep the pieces, which cuts the cost in half. I did that with the Jurassic Park with the giant T-Rex. I flipped the 3 minifigs for $100, and I had $50 in VIP points, and so I got the dinosaur for whatever was left. And that was a good price. So depending, my NASA sets will probably never be disassembled unless we move. I guess it just really depends. There's a couple things that I've collected, built, disassembled, and put back in the boxes, and so I have all my Lord of the Rings sets. I have the Scoob, which I think is absolutely awesome, and I have the ill-fated Lone Ranger, which I also think is an awesome Lego series. So those are all the basics. Someday I'll get them all out, and we'll have like a build night, and we'll just build the whole series together. But for the most part, if it's a lesser expensive, non-UCS, non-creator expert, and I'm buying it, I build it once and then tear it apart for parts. So I'm mixed.
Gets right into the collection.
What percent do you think you are collector versus constructor?
I'm probably 60-40 collector versus constructor.
Okay. All right. Good deal. All right. Good deal. Yeah. And I've seen you do great builds. You've got the Rainbow Row you built on your own. All I got is in everything. So yeah, there it is with the Millennium Falcon stuck inside. And many eyeballs, depending on which convention you've been and whoever's punked you last. So that's cool. Who else? Anyone want to talk about your hobby or your opinion? Mr. Sandlin.
Yep.
This is like a Zoom call, by the way, and I'm the teacher. All right, Mr. Sandlin, tell us the answer, please.
So yeah, I probably am like 90% constructor. The only sets I have in box are the ones we made. These guys.
Woohoo!
This is the only thing I have in sealed box.
Nice.
I need to reconstruct those.
But and I have very few sets on a shelf. Just a few sets that I've got over on my shelf over here is, I've got the the Millennium Falcon, I got Slave One, and I got Razor Crest. And those and the stuff in the corner, that's all builds that I've done. So I really don't buy stuff for the set to keep and put on a shelf very often at all. Very rarely. However, this last week, Dana was at Costco, and he's like, "Hey, the set's on sale," and I'm like, "Get me one because I love this. This is completely silly, and I love it. I just this set just completely, it just kind of hit that little." It hit the joy button in my brain and was just like, oh my God, it's so cute. It's just like, it's super fun. It's got these cool little stairs. Look at these stairs. These are worthy of being in a spaceship.
Yep.
Oh,
they are.
Oh, wow.
That's
Isn't
awesome.
that awesome? Look at that.
That is amazing.
And they slide in.
Is that a monster burger truck then?
It is.
Monster burger truck. And I love the little dude that's serving the burgers, pull the roof off. He's like this little handlebar mustachioed ex-fighter pilot looking dude.
He's like the guy from Animal House or whatever. I can't remember.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got like little food stuff in there. It's great. Plus, it's got the.
By the way, Animal House was a funny movie back in a long time ago. Just saying. All right.
You could probably watch it on Turner Classic.
Got a little suspension so the truck can kind of do this kind of thing. And
yeah, the flex tube being the suspension was awesome too. Yeah, Jake built one.
The burger is fun because the burger is actually only on 2 studs, so you can pop this off. You can play with the burger. Can
you eat it?
Yeah,
Can you rub it?
But when Paul was here last week, we were pulling the burger off and playing with it, and the little there's the little chairs that come with the picnic table that you can fold these up and put them inside the truck. He rolls up in his truck and whips out the chairs and the picnic table. It's got this fun little brick-built dog. Whoa, sorry.
The dog.
The little brick-built doggy. He's really sorry. I turned him this way so he catches it. There you go. He's just
that
cute.
looks really good.
That
looks really good.
He's really neat. And it's just a fun little creator set. And I never buy a set just for the set in that way. And for some reason, this little thing just absolutely was just fun. And it's really I enjoyed building it. And this is probably one of the extremely few sets that I will keep on the shelf just because it's so much fun. So I just wanted to kind of rave about that set a little bit because it was really a lot of fun for me to build, and Paul likes it too. He's played with it some, and we really just kind of enjoyed that. And the decals on it are fun. It's got the little monster
Looks like the
menu is fun.
It's giving me flashbacks to the carnivore gasm burger.
Yeah.
Eat
or be eaten. So yeah, it's just really it's just a lot of fun. And then otherwise, for me, it's building. I buy stuff 99.9% of the time. I buy stuff to build with it. The sets that I got from Big Lots at the beginning of the week, that was all for parts. I just, it's one of those things that even though 99.9% of my purchases are for building, every once in a while, Lego throws out a really super fun set that brings me joy. And that one, the Monster Burger Truck, is just a joyful set. It's just
absolutely,
it's just fun.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
So, now we're gonna buy my favorite.
we all gotta go buy one.
Mr. Sandlin, a good job. He did great. Good job, class.
Good presentation.
This is easily my favorite Mark Sandlin moment of all time, was to see him squee over this burger truck. Just awesome.
He was also arrested for that, but that's a whole different story.
We can't tell
because
that
it was an
story on
actual
here.
burger truck.
Eat or be eaten.
All right. Anybody else want to talk about your philosophy of the hobby, how you see yourself, constructor, collector?
So I would jump in, but I really want to hear what Nathan's got to say.
I know what Nathan is, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I think
Exactly. We want to hear it.
I'm pretty much the same as Mark, even more so maybe. I don't know. I almost felt bad. I remember I got that set that you designed there, and you signed the set for me there, Mark, and it didn't last long. Before I got it home, and I have the bit you signed stashed away somewhere, but the parts went instantly into doing other things.
I'm pretty sure you already had opened the set, and I signed the instruction book.
Yeah, I think I have the instructions signed. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so
but
that's.
I would say something that you maybe not be thinking of off the top of your head that I would say that you enjoy doing. You enjoy collecting Lego things that have to do with your friends who build Lego.
Actually, that's true. I actually have more mocks from other people on my shelves than I have Lego sets.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's the community builder. There's another C. I can put you're a community builder. There you go.
Yeah. So I mean, I have the Saturn V, and I have the Starfleet. What's it called? Starfleet Voyager or whatever.
From Classic Space.
Yeah, the Classic Space one.
Yeah.
And if the parts weren't already like looking like tan, if I needed the parts, I would use them. That's how much of a builder I am. So
that's a cannibalist.
Using his hand then.
It's crazy.
Like Dana's having like a seizure right now.
No. We'll talk about me in a second. We're finishing up on.
I'll take. I also have the Vic Viper from the space. The Mark
alien
the Alien Conquest Vic Viper.
Yeah.
I have the Vic Viper together. Because Mark Stafford designed that. Again, it's community and it's friends.
Yeah, it's got his name on it too. He's in the sticker.
Yeah. And the Nen sticker. Then
tribute sticker. Yeah,
exactly. So that's what I do. I build. And I love collecting stuff from other people. That's why I love this Fleabnork so much. It's just it goes in my community contribution wall, stuff that other people have given me, and I love it. So other than that, everything gets taken to parts.
Cool. All right. I know that Simon Liu does that too. He has a ton of people give him, and he keeps that, displays that. And he'll also give, like, if he has something he builds, he'll give you like 5 copies of it.
Man, he gives so much stuff; it's crazy.
Yeah,
Simon built
that's cool.
from my layout. So
Simon's good guy.
I have a little tan Simon mech in my collection. So the last BrickCon I went to, I gave away most of my mocks at the end of the thing. I just was like, you should, mostly to young guys who were like, up and coming in the hobby. I was like, you should take that home with you. It was so fun. I love that like collaboration and sharing. It's really, really fun for me.
Yeah, awesome. It really is fun because I have a Simon mock too because he was he and I played a bunch of Overwatch together when it first released, and he built a Lego version of the character Zenyatta from the game.
Nice.
And he was going to come out to BrickCon in 2016, and he couldn't make it, but he actually sent that Lego Zenyatta out with some of the guys who were attending to give to me. And he signed a little, one of the little 6x8 ramps. He signed it and made it part of the base. So I have that on my desk upstairs that where I played my games and stuff. That's it's super fun too. I've got a few things that from other people in the community, and like Ryan's got a couple things that I've made. Ryan has a Fleabnork, but he also has the evil skull Vic Viper that I made for was it the telephone game? What was the thing we were doing, Ryan?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, there's a slam kit right there beside it. Oh,
the Vic Vipers. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice. For the hanger, from that one.
Sorry, yeah. This is just to sort of jump out of place. I had my own shelf of stuff that people made also, and it was like the most prominent display piece in my Lego room. I do have sets on display, but like I think Nathan sort of said the same thing. I have more stuff on display, or had more stuff on display before we moved than I did of my own stuff. So the hobby sort of became more sentimental for me over the years. And that 5 years or so that I've talked about before, where I built sets to see what people were doing, the designers were doing, and then took them apart, and that's how we ended up with totes upon totes of unsorted pieces that we're still going through. I don't keep a lot on display because I want to use it someday. And once we're done sorting, I'll have that like perfect clarity moment of we can start fresh, start from scratch, but I'll have all my friends' stuff on display. And there's a couple things that my wife and I purchased together. Like when one of our anniversaries was the Disney castle, and I don't think she's going to let me take that apart.
Probably not.
Someone already mentioned the Saturn V. I don't think that's ever coming apart. And then the other one for me that I will put on display is Ninjago City, because
that one's great.
That set is just on another level from anything else I've ever built, and I don't think I could take it apart and not, like, I don't think it would ever go back together again after I parted it out, and I'd kind of like to keep that one around. But other than that, I think Mark sort of hit about where my sweet spot is I like to buy stuff, build it, see what Lego's doing, take it apart, and use it for my own stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's because we're older than most of the younger. Well, obviously we're older than younger fans, but when we got sets, especially at our age of plus 50, the sets were the basic sets, the 2, 4, 6, 8, that just came with bricks and pictures on the box, and so they all ended up one big huge cardboard box.
Yeah.
And then when you got more sets after that, even with instructions, the pieces just went into the cardboard box. And I actually didn't start building the original sets again until, I happen to have 50 wing plates. Now I can build the original sets again. So it's like a decade later or 2 decades later, I can build the originals again. And they hadn't been together in a bunch of decades because they were just rolled into the collection.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
Brian's got the set there.
This is how OCD I am. This is a basic part set from 1961, but I had to build it into the primary model on the front of the box.
That's gorgeous.
Absolutely.
But I mean, yeah, it's just a basic part set from the 60s.
But look how much brick is in that, by the way. Just look.
Oh yeah, it's definitely upwards of like 500 pieces.
I always like those 10 by 20 gray base plates because
yes, 10 by 20 is nice.
Yeah.
4 of them.
And they're not broken, so you're lucky.
Yeah. Very lucky.
Awesome. All right. Anybody else want to chat about or talk about their? All right, Dana, you're up.
I know we started off and we were talking about how I went through this journey to get all the classic space sets, but my journey started a little before that. When I was 8 or 9 or 7 or 8, when I got my first classic space sets and a couple of creator sets and the Apollo Moon Lander set, or the old lunar lander set. And, I coveted all those things and I only got to build with those pieces. So, those were little cherished things I kept along the way. And then when the Lego movie came out, and I bought a few Star Wars sets along the way, the Slave One, the speeder bikes, some stuff like that. But I really, really wasn't Lego-ified again until Lego Movie. And I started buying all sorts of sets, mainly Star Wars sets before that. And so by the time that the Lego Movie came out and I started trying to make mocks and finding that there was this whole community out there, and I was building with my official set pieces. And when I started going to lug meetings and doing some stuff and realizing, you guys build with all this other stuff that you've acquired and you want to keep your official sets, and you've got your parts to build with. And so that completely changed my whole mentality. Reparted my set together to set
not both?
Start grabbing all this bulk stuff to build.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah. But now I sit on this fence in the middle, and there's a portion of me like with Matthew as a Star Wars collector and action figures, and that bleeds over, and a comic book collector as well. So there's that completionist. I gotta have a full run. And so that whole getting all the classic space, and then next thing you know, I've got everything from classic space to Spyrius, falls into that completionist collector mentality. And then Lego Batman movie comes out, which the Rogues Gallery in that series alone made me buy all those sets. The Arctic series, not the first Arctic series, but the second and third one.
Dang.
I had to get all those because it's got orange, and I can't not buy orange sets. And so I sit on this where I've got to get. I mean, okay, raise your hand. Who has a Saturn V?
Dang.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain sets you got to buy, and they're cool, and you want to display them. And yeah, the Saturn V, Voltron, the Millennium Falcon, UCS, those will probably never get taken apart unless I move. But then, I've got sets that I've collected, and like those Batman sets, they've been since taken apart. They're in storage, and I can't take them apart and use those pieces because to me, those are my Lego Batman movie sets.
That's Ninjago movie for me.
Yeah, Ninjago movie.
Those
there
sets are great.
Things that I've had to collect, and then there are certain. I mean, I'm definitely a Star Wars collector, but I'm not a completionist for Star Wars because that's just crazy. That's crazy. That is beyond crazy Lego money.
Yeah.
And then so I actually think I sit in all of these boxes as a Lego person. I gotta have them all, but yet I've only got to have certain ones. But yet I've got to have my mock building inventory, which is only for mocks. So yeah, I love every aspect of the hobby.
So yeah, but can I just want to I did something this week which might interest you guys. I went through and I realized that one of my drawers was full of Lego instructions for sets that I have or don't. Like I've picked up instructions with collections that I have no idea. So I'm gonna show you the box here. This box is full of Lego instructions.
All right, let me get it on the screen here. Hang on, go back.
Oh yeah, it's heavy, man.
There you are.
Okay, so this box.
Put your back into it.
Yeah, I know.
Full of, we want to see a hernia.
Pull your back into it.
Good thing you have Canadian healthcare.
Yeah, no kidding.
So those are the ones that I decided I didn't love enough to keep. So I'm going to get rid of those somehow.
Sell them.
Yeah, I'm going to sell them.
Kindling.
This
They're
is
like $1 a piece on Bricklink.
This ends up being all I'm keeping. Whoops, as I drop them.
Yeah.
That was the one Mark signed, right?
And on top. That one.
Right.
Yeah, the one Mark signed is in the bin to go, right?
No,
He's tossing it.
So this was
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That was
I'll give you an envelope.
Yeah. This is to keep. My wife gave this to me for this set for our first anniversary.
My wife.
Aww.
Yeah. So, but again, the parts, they're in my collection.
Yeah. Hey, no. You know what? I will say the same thing about that Tantive 5. I got it for. I think my wife got it for me either birthday or anniversary. I can't remember, but I built it, and it was maybe together like a couple days. Then I'm like, oh, that's a cool part. Oh, that's a cool part. And you know that like some of those parts in that set are worth serious money. And there are people who are paying out the wazoo for those red circle tiles with the 4 studs in them. Those are super expensive.
The original Star Destroyer, the UCS one, the first one that came
Oh
in.
my gosh.
My family got that for me for Christmas. So I ended up, I started building in that. And then, after watching a couple reviews, which were really early at the time for online reviews for that stuff, and that, it's like building like the same thing 4 times, right? Because just, build one side. I got done building like the bottom half. I'm kind of like, yeah, I get it. Okay, take it apart. It never went together once.
Amazing.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's the same thing. I'm looking at like, those whatever they are, 6 or they're 8 by 12 things. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's the definitely in the keep pile. Yeah.
But yeah, like just like you're saying, Chris, it's like, yeah, okay, I need that. I need all those taps. I need all those, those Technic tees. Yeah, it never made it.
I have the question.
Good for you.
And Matthew and I are probably on the similar wavelength for this in general. Is that holding on to sets, knowing that in certain sets in 5-10 years could buy a small car?
Couldn't care.
I don't care.
How do you guys think about that when you've parted out a set, knowing you've got the parts in your inventory somewhere, or in a mock, or what?
I can't be bothered. I don't even look at resale because it would frustrate me.
Well, it doesn't bother me. This is my hobby. I have a job that pays the bills. I don't need Lego to pay my bills or to retire on or to buy. I've been collecting for 50 years, and I want these pieces. And if I didn't want these pieces, I'll give them to Dana.
Okay, can I be on that list? I want to be on that list.
Thank you for those parts.
Do you have any of those round red pieces with 4 dots?
I didn't get that Tanify, but I got an ISB in the box that I got off of Jason Ellerman years ago, and it's still sitting there in the box because I can't be bothered building it. My son wants to build it, and I want him to be a little older before he does.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. Yeah. I love this is my hobby, and collectors, like my uncle, this is a really quick story. My uncle's a stamp collector. He's 85, 90 years old, collecting stamps his entire life. He has one book, and I can't tell you, I'll just make this up. Venezuela, 1952, the book, one of them. If he finds one more stamp, he'll complete the book, and the book itself will be worth $1.5 million.
Wow.
If he gets that one stamp's going to cost him $50,000, right? He says, I'm not paying $50,000 for a stamp.
Yeah.
He's a stamp collector. He wants to collect it. He doesn't want to go to eBay and buy the stamp. He wants to collect it.
Right.
So this is what the hobby is.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So for me, and again, we come down to the instructions, and I got into it a bunch of years back, was if you're not complete unless you have the instructions and the box. I'm an adult fan of Lego Brick. The box and the instructions, I build it once, it goes into the collection, and the instructions go to right now to my friend Jeff, who sells them on his Bricklink channel. I was surprised. I actually, years ago on eBay, I put my Magnecore magnetizer instructions on eBay. I got $140 from it for somebody in Germany wanted it. $140 for the instruction book. And I said, there's an English, I told the guy, is this an English barrier? Because this is instructions only. He said, no, $140. Okay, there you
go. For some of the classic sets, for the plastic tray, I've seen them go for $60-$70 just for the tray, nothing else.
That would be me buying them.
I got you covered.
I got to get everything original.
Yep. Well, I know Rich. I mean, I'm kind of glad that Rich isn't here, even though if he's in the peanut gallery, because he's very adamant about if you don't have the instructions,
you don't have the set.
I know.
And I don't agree. I don't, because there are so many people out there. You go into secondhand stores and you're buying the set, and it's built, and there's no instructions, and they're going to sell it to you for the price of the set, with or without the instructions. That's what they're asking for. So in my mind, you got the set, you got the set. If you got the instructions, yeah, that's great. You've got some piece of paper that
it's bonus.
You know, it adds to a collector, and Brian can attest to this. It adds to the desire to have the instructions, but I don't feel I have the set, or the set doesn't matter to me whether I have the instructions or not. If I have the parts and I can put them all together, and that's the set, that's the set.
That's fair. I will keep and review sets that don't have the instructions, just as long as I've got all the pieces. That's what I'm primarily focused on. But I do want at least instructions. And then boxes if I can afford it, but I don't like to pay shipping on boxes, so it's very rare that I'll be able to get a box for a set.
And it depends on what you're interested in. Like I was so happy that Piron still exists, and I got to build this thing last night.
Yeah,
I don't have the instructions. I haven't had the instructions for this since I was 12.
So that is one thing that worries me, is that Piron hasn't been updated in 8 years now, and how long until that goes offline, and then all these scans that they have are just gone, and we don't have who's going to rescan all those instructions?
Well, Lego has them.
Not for that far back. Not from like 80s back.
And the sad thing is that if you go to any of the 6 other sites that Bricklink or Brickset might list that have instructions, they're just the Piron instructions on
Yep.
Yeah. Just one thing. When you're talking about the sets, actually, 2 things. I look at actually like, you know, a lot of adult fans, they actually, some of us get into sort of the habit where we don't end up buying a lot of sets simply because we look at it, the return for our investment, if we're just looking at building fodder, is just not enough. Like we don't have a high enough repetition of a certain part. We don't have that. We're thinking, oh, why would I spend money there where I could go to the Lego store and pick a brick or Bricklink or wherever, right? And all this kind of stuff.
Or find a bunch of smaller sets on clearance so you know you're going to get a bunch of a certain part.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I mean, so there's still that side, but even there's some, I know some builds, they don't even like that because the extra stuff that they get, you know, it's not their focus, right? They're so focused on what they need for a specific project.
Yeah.
That's what they want. You know, now that's not my kind of thing. But because I find that for like, I don't buy a lot of sets anymore. A lot of this because what we talked about on this channel before. Some of the sets, again, like Lego makes a great $150 set, you know, a decent $10 set, a really shoddy $40 set, right? And that's kind of where my budget is these days, a lot for that. So, but the one reason, or the two reasons I will buy sets is, one is to wait till something goes on click clearance. I keep it sealed, as much as it does bother me sometimes knowing there's parts in there that I could use. But I know that actually is going to fund my future purchases because of this used place that's, you know, not too far from me. As I hang on to the set for 6 months, 8 months, I go and I trade that in for 4 old sets that he has, right?
Oh,
so for me, it's like a trade-up process. But that's just sort of the economics of it. But for me, what I'd love to, from time to time, because I am a toy collector, enthusiast, nerd, loser, whatever you want to call it.
Hero.
Yeah.
Toy loser.
There is something that I still love about when you get a set, because it's 50% nostalgic. Yeah, I know for sure. But it's also too, there's something where the entire experience, you know, from the box to the instructions to the build to the final and all that stuff, it's just sometimes to see it and to experience it all as a unified product, you don't get that experience if you just buy bulk.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I do find that in my collection now, I've 90% is the secondhand market and 10% is buying new in stores. And I like to find I keep on calling it esoteric, but the interesting bits. I found these on Facebook Buy and Sell 2 years ago as the predecessor to the RCX.
Oh yeah.
And I finally got a hold of the guy who made these things. It's a guy in the UK. And he got hired by a Lego company. it's not Ralph Temple, by the way. but I'm going, and I just stumbled across his Facebook Buy and Sell, and it was all the 4.5 volt leads. And I'm going, why is there a huge bundle? Because I was around then, you guys were around then. Who has over 100 4.5 volt wires for anything? That's interesting to me. I'm going to buy it whatever the cost is now because I want to know what the issue is. And then this thing shows up and I'm going, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And it's not Lego, but the guy who built this went on to Lego and built the RTX. And I'm going, oh, that's just my happiest. So I find interesting things in the secondhand market, garage sales, thrift stores, wherever. I'm always scoping out for Lego, and I'm going, oh, I see a 2x2 ice planet in there, tile in there. I'm gonna, whatever else is in there, I don't care. I'm gonna buy that bag. Just
cool.
because it might be cool.
Wait, who you got there with you?
Well, it's my son Josh.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, you know what? The two of you look nothing alike. I'm just going to say right now.
We adopted him.
Yeah.
Plastic surgery.
I love it. How you doing,
Yeah,
young
he's
man?
got hair and I don't, so it's
Yeah. All right. So how much of that, just as good, since he's there, one of the motivating factors I think for me in how I collect, how I build, is having the kid in the house. I mean, that I'm trying to pass the hobby over. How has that changed has that changed you anyway, Dave, having this young man in your house?
I wouldn't have had one Ninjago set ever in this house. So
Wait. So you call it Ninjago? Is that the Canadian pronunciation?
Oh, that's the Dave pronunciation.
I love it. So, and you know what? The fact that your kiddo has a beaver on his shirt is amazing Canadian, just on display there.
Roots, fine Canadian company.
But does your son know who this is?
No. Who's got Captain Canada? Who's that?
Oh, it's Puck from Alpha
Captain
Flight.
America?
Oh, sorry.
Puck from Alpha Flight, the original Canadian superhero comic.
I missed that one. I grew up in the hilarious House of Frankenstein. I know what that is. Billy Van. That's where I grew up.
Billy Van.
Someone said Puck and Gil showed back up.
All right.
I
Hey,
heard
wait.
Billy Van.
Fine Canadian.
Yeah, I was about to say, is the internet starting to shut down in Canada because we lost one, but he came back. So
I stepped away. And I came back, and Gil was. I was like, did his monologue go too long, and they cut off the service contract?
Snowstorm.
At the border.
Wait, I see this now in the chat down here, Mr. Stanley. You added a picture talking about your burger truck. Can you?
The Monster Burger.
Nice.
This was Ryan versus the Carnivoregasm burger from the Vortex in Atlanta when he came to visit me several years.
Yeah,
nice.
And it's a burger that has every kind of meat that they serve at the Vortex,
which is awesome in itself.
So it's like a beef patty, a turkey patty. It's got ham. It's got
all the meats,
bacon, everything's on there.
So you took him to Midtown. You didn't take him to Little 5 Points.
I don't recall why we went to Midtown that particular evening.
Oh, I know why you went to Midtown.
Yeah.
You do?
Certain lounge, perhaps.
Your shirt was on.
Certain lounge that begins with the letter C.
There was nothing exciting happening that evening. We just happened to be in the Midtown location.
Well, Ryan, next time you come, let me
I think-
know, and I'll take you someplace exciting.
Yeah, there is two or three. There's two vortexes. The one in Little 5 Points is the OG and the original, and
with the big.
I went to whatever one has the giant skull that you
that's
want.
the giant skull.
That's Little 5.
Little 5, yeah.
Awesome mech.
Yeah, that's a great set. My son has that.
Loved it. Josh built it all himself, and it was just I was impressed.
Yeah, you need to hang out with my kid. He loves some Ninjago as well. So,
And Dave, I got to say that when I first actually sat down to watch the Lego Ninjago movie with Matthew, which he
Right.
fell asleep in, by the way.
True story.
It wasn't until that movie when they're yelling "Ninja Go, Ninja Go." It was that day that I realized, oh, Ninjago is Ninja Go.
It's Ninjago.
I mean, wow.
Was that Vanilla Ice from the Ninja Turtles sequel?
Pretty much.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Yeah.
well,
And the
that's so bad.
churning the butter.
All right.
I don't think I've ever seen Nathan look less cool. Sorry, dude. I don't even do that.
Down. All right. Hey, we're almost at 2 hours. I'm going to wind this thing down. Thank you. This has been a great discussion. Good to talk about our different views of the hobby. We didn't even make fun of anybody really bad either.
I'm right here too. I mean,
You get more Canadians in here, we get nicer. I don't know.
Wait
So
till
y'all
the
need to
apologies
apologize
start.
for that before we leave.
we're sorry. We're sorry about that.
Sorry. About that. About that.
About it.
Sorry about the, that.
About it.
Boot in the boot.
Oh man!
All right. Hey, it's
Does
all
that ever
hanging
get
out.
old? I guess not, eh?
What's that? All right. So, hey, we're running out of time, so we're going to shut this down. But thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Thanks, everybody.
We had some folks popping in and out. We actually had, for a while there, other people trying to get into the chat, and I appreciate there's a lot of folks who are hanging out with us, and that's an honor that you'd want to hang out with a dork like me and these guys for at least 24 times, and not even counting Messy Mondays. So I'm always thrilled to have these conversations because it is like being at a convention, hanging out, and just shooting the breeze. And And that's awesome, and I really appreciate it. Sad news that they did cancel Brick Fair Alabama for 2021, and I hate that. I hate that for all the vendors and the owner and all that kind of stuff. That's a lot of lost revenue, and it's also was the thing I was really jonesing forward to. Gosh, that's an old phrase. Really looking forward to hanging out with friends in person, but it was hanging out with friends this weekend and everything. But this week we've still got a lot to accomplish before this virus goes away. But with that said, be nice to a neighbor. Be even Canadian nice to a neighbor, and always apologize. And wear your masks. Do something awesome. Be creative and be super cool to the kids around you. Hey, you guys have a great night. We'll talk to you all later.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.